We're going to continue multiplying, but we're going to look at some things which are sometimes referred to as special products, special ways to multiply. The lesson we're looking at in this video is called FOIL. That's an acronym for the words first, outer, inner, last. But before I look at FOIL, I want to remind you that you can multiply a binomial times a binomial using the distributive property if you wanted to. You're going to do it one term at a time, but suppose you had x plus 2 times x plus 3. You could distribute the x times x is x squared, x times 3 is 3x, then distribute the positive 2 times x is positive 2x, 2 times 3 is positive 6. You did have some like terms. You could get x squared plus 5x plus 6. So you can multiply binomial times binomial using the distributive property. You do it one term at a time, and that's why I said distributive property usually involves just a monomial. Well, FOIL gives you an alternate way to do this. FOIL is for binomials times binomial only. It can't be used in any other setting, and it stands for first, outer, inner, and last. First, outer, inner, last. Take those letters and it makes up the word FOIL. If I were going to multiply that x plus 2 times x plus 3, the x and the x are in the first position. So the first product is x times x, which is x squared. The outer x and 3 are in the outermost positions. So it's x times 3, which is usually called 3x. Inner is for the innermost, the ones close together. That's 2 times x, which would be 2x. The last is, the last is 2 times 3, those are the last in each of the binomials, which gives me 6. Many times, not always, but many times the outer and the inner terms will be like terms. We'll add those together for 5x. Our product is x squared plus 5x plus 6. Now, the way I've written it here on the screen, this is not a very much of a shortcut. But let me show you where I hope we are headed with this. We have x plus 2 times x plus 3. If we use FOIL, the product of the first, that's going to give me x squared. Now, you may need to write down that the outer product is 3x, and you may need to write down that the inner product is 2x. And then looking at those, you can combine them together, if possible, for 5x. Then the product of the last is 2 times 3, or 6. That does make it a little bit faster than the distributive property. If you get really good at it, you will no longer need to write the outers and inners down. You can hold them in your head and combine them. But I'll be writing them down in the notes. So here's some problems. First one, it has x plus 8 times x plus 7. Product of the first, x times x is x squared. The outer product is 7x. The inner product is 8x. Add them together for 15x. The product of the last, 8 times 7, is 56. And that's my product. All right, next, I have x minus 9 times x plus 3. Remember, I can only use FOIL when I'm multiplying binomial times binomial. All right, this is going to be the product of the first. X times x is x squared. The outer product is positive 3x. The inner product is negative 9x. Combine those for negative 6x. The product of the last, a negative 9 times a positive 3, gives me negative 27. You need to be a little bit more careful when there are some negatives. Next one, I have 2x minus 5 times x plus 5. The product of the first, 2x times x, is 2x squared. The outer product is 10x. The inner product is negative 5x, which gives me 5x. The product of the last, negative 5 times positive 5, is negative 25. That's why FOIL is supposed to be a little faster, because you're just being more organized. Next, I have y minus 9 times 2y minus 8. The product of the first, y times 2y, is 2y squared. The outer product is negative 8y. The inner product is negative 18y, which adds up to be negative 26y. And negative 9 times negative 8, negative times negative is positive 72. Let's look at a few more. I have 5x plus 4 times 4x minus 1. Product of the first, that gives me 20x squared. The outer product is negative 5x. The inner product is 16x. That's going to give me a positive 11x. Positive 4 times negative 1. Whoops, I lost my sign there. That was plus 11. Negative 4. Okay, a few more. We just need practice at this. I have b plus 5 times b plus 8. Product of the first is b squared. The outer product is 8b. The inner product is 5b. That gives me 13b. Now, the product of the last is 40. It could be that that feels comfortable for you. If it doesn't, please write down the outer product is 8b, the inner is 5b, then looking at them, you're combining them. But you may be able to combine them in your mind. All right, next, I have 8x minus 7 times 5x plus 7. The product of the first is 40x squared. The outer product is 56x. The inner product is negative 35x, which gives me a positive 21x. The product of the last is negative 49. All right, just a few more. Practicing FOIL. I have x squared plus y times 3x minus y to the fourth. Now, something I noticed right away, every problem I've done till now has been something with x plus a constant or something with x minus a constant for both binomials. These are very different. Let's see what happens. The product of the first is going to give me 3x to the third. The outer product is negative x squared y to the fourth. The inner product is positive 3xy, and we put the letters in alphabetical order. Those are not like terms, so I have to write down the outer and the inner. They did not combine. Usually they do, but not always. Then y times negative y to the fourth is negative y to the fifth, using that product rule. All right, one more. I have 5a plus 2 times 7a minus 5. The product of the first is 35a squared. The outer product is negative 25a. The inner product is 14a. That's going to give me negative 11a. And then 2 times negative 5 is negative 10. So practice with FOIL. Write down the outers and inners if you need to. Skip it if you can.